Around 2 years ago, I was getting ready to eat dinner with my family. We'd all been fasting the whole day, so we brought in some great food from a local restaurant. Instead of the lockdown in California, everyone was in a pretty enthusiastic, cheerful mood that night. But not me. I was unhappy as usual, and I found something negative to say about everything we were talking about in the interaction, or very snappy to words with my whole family, and I quickly killed off the entire great atmosphere that night, and everyone left the table early. And during the lockdown in California, I hit a very low point in life. I lost over 22 pounds of weight and all of my visible muscles I had spent years to work for. I would choose to seek out content on social media every single day that would just enrage me. I could not focus at school. I felt like the walls were closing in, and I actually got caught cheating in one of my finals. So I was very stressed out about what the decision would be from the provost about how I would get reprimanded. And in general, during that time, anything I experienced during the day, I would find a way to make me feel bitter, angry, or resentful towards the outside world. It got so bad, I started like balding on the left and right sides of my head. You can still slightly see it on my left side. And it wasn't until after I killed off the atmosphere at dinner and I laid down in bed that night that I really realized how utterly unhappy I was with life. And this image popped into my head of those like poor African kids playing with like a deflated ball, and they were still so enthusiastic and just full of life, and I wasn't at all. And why was that? So I decided that I was gonna find a way to become a happy person, no matter how long it took me. And fast forward to today, I have never felt better. I don't like the word happiness because it's a big catch-all for a lot of different terms, but I feel this cool, calm bliss going through life, and I get these euphoric spouts of pleasure throughout the day. Like I would just be like rolling with laughter about just the dumbest stuff with my friends, or I would just be catching myself like dancing with my cat whenever a great song came on. And it's also expanded to worrying less. I came close to missing a flight recently, and I just did not even panic one time. The same thing with a few other things that happened, like a random meeting with my boss I was very alarmed about, and dinging up my car when I came out here to Texas. But I impressed myself by how relaxed I was in those situations, where in the past I would have become very angry and unhappy immediately. So I want to tell you guys how I managed to become a happier person. And there's two things I need to preface with. Firstly, understand that happiness is not necessarily a choice, but it is a skill you can develop with time, knowledge, and experience. And secondly, a lot of self-improvement is going to be tied to positive emotions and happiness. So if you start sleeping better, you will start working out better, which will induce more endorphins, which will make you happier, which will lead you to sleeping better. And it's a positive cycle with really anything in self-improvement. This list will be, however, the things that have tremendously made me happier in life. And I don't like that term, but really just made me feel so joyous and enthusiastic to just wake up every single day. So with all that being said, in no particular order, let's just hop straight into this. So firstly was exposing myself to an extreme amount of healthy stress on a frequent basis. Throughout the day, we have so many thoughts in our head, a constant stream of overthinking, overanalyzing, daydreaming about scenarios. When you guys watch this video now, I bet your brain is half thinking about something else and not present and grounded in your current situation. But when you're in an extremely stressful situation, nothing matters except for the pain in the moment. I got this from doing ice baths. When that cold water hits you, nothing in the world matters except for how cold that water is and how your body's reacting to it. Similarly with jujitsu, when someone is on top of you trying to put you in a choke, rip something out of its socket, bend your arm or leg backwards, believe me, you're not thinking about anything except where you are in the moment and how to get out of it. And then after, everything in life feels so effortless. You know, when you're really sick and you get healthy, you feel so great just being normal. The same way when you're incredibly stressed out in like healthy stressful situation I mentioned, then the rest of life becomes so joyous. So find somewhere where stress is being applied to you and can't necessarily control how much of that is happening. I mentioned jujitsu, cold ice baths, or even cold showers when I start with something small. Those sorts of situations makes you feel so incredibly happy throughout the rest of life. Secondly was increasing my income. I get that we're supposed to pretend in society that money won't bring you happiness, but I did not find that to be true. Going from an intern making $35 an hour in San Francisco to getting a full package with my company, nice amount of compensation, and then moving to Fort Worth, Texas, well, that firstly fixed all of my money problems. I'm no longer stressing about not saving anything, and I have more money to put in the 401k, which brings you a lot of peace of mind. And then I was able to afford a lifestyle that brought me a ton of happiness. Able to get an apartment with plenty of windows, afford an MMA membership, afford a car, which was not possible in San Francisco, and go on vacations to see my family members. You guys know I'm a minimalist, and generally just buying things won't make you happier long term. But if you're in a situation where you already don't have a consumeristic mindset and you still struggle with money, fixing those issues first will make a big improvement on your life. I definitely found that fixing my money problems, and thankfully I'm in a position where I don't have any money problems now, and I'm able to save plenty and put a lot of money towards investments. It's brought me a lot of tranquility in day-to-day life. Thirdly was exercising every single day without fail. Now, you guys all know the benefits of exercising. It'll do this, 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 and that for you. There's a million reasons to exercise. But when you do it every single day, particularly in the morning, you feel so vitalized throughout the day. I recommend you guys work out, like do bodybuilding 3 times a week, because a lot of other benefits to that. Because when you have muscle on, you're perceived differently from other people. And I'll get into that. I'm making an entire video about that, why you should particularly do bodybuilding. But every single day, get some sort of exercise in. I enjoy MMA, so I do jujitsu or kickboxing the other days when I'm not working out in the gym. But whether you guys like basketball, tennis, something further that gets your cardiovascular, system working, a very high heart rate would be preferred. That will make you feel so good. I had never had a bad day as long as I exercised that morning before. If you guys are new to exercise, even just going for a walk around your neighborhood will do wonders for you. Just first thing out of bed, jump out and get your exercise done out of the way. I always like morning workouts. When you push them in the evening, then you find finding excuses. I have this to do, I have that to do, and it's very hard to pull through with it. So I prefer morning workouts. I think you guys will too. Exercise and sleep are the 2 fundamental building blocks of transforming your life. They'll make a bigger impact than anything else you will do. So exercise every single day. Another thing I mentioned was sleep. Sleep is 1/3 of your life, and it's fairly easy to maximize all aspects of it. I know most of you guys watch this video think that you get decent sleep. Yeah, you get like 8, 7, 6 hours, but you feel good, and you drink some coffee in the morning, but I guarantee you, you are not coming anywhere close to getting the amount of sleep, the proper amount of sleep, and the best sleep you could be getting. I made an entire video a few weeks ago where I broke down every single aspect of maximizing your sleep, from lighting, temperature, breathing, positioning, air quality, pillow type, breaking it all down. It might seem like a lot now, but compared to actually being successful in life, sleep is pretty easy to get right. And when you're not sleeping right, which most people are, unfortunately, it is making you irritable, sick, unhappy, increasing your risk of diseases and cancers, and you are literally shortening your lifespan. So guys, sleep needs to be a priority for you, not just in happiness, but it'll make every single aspect of your life improve. Again, I can't stress this enough, sleep and exercise are the 2 fundamental building blocks of building a better life. Next up is gratefulness and meditation. You need to learn how to control your thoughts, period. I believe it was Seneca who said that we control very little. Our environment, our job security, how people perceive us, even our bodies can get cancers, diseases, parasites, and wither away, but we have some control over our mind. And like I mentioned earlier when I talked about healthy amounts of stress on you, we all the time have this constant stream of thoughts. And if you can't control that stream of thoughts, you will be thinking about negative things, you'll be overthinking, anxious, worrying, overanalyzing, and that is not a healthy, happy way to go about life. Meditation is key for this. Something I did off and on for a long time because I heard like, oh, it's good for you and this and that, but once I literally spent $60 to buy a year-long subscription headspace to force myself to meditate daily, I have never felt better. Now, when I jump out of bed in the morning, the first thing after using the bathroom is I meditate because I just cannot miss it. And when I did have to miss 2 days in a row for meditating because of I was traveling or something, I felt this like constant ringing in my ears, and it was very I did not feel as happy and as able-minded compared to when I meditate every single morning. Now, something with gratefulness, it really comes from a mindset change. Like, yes, you can do gratefulness exercises where you breathe in deep and breathe out and feel the carpet curled under your toes. And you can also do gratefulness journaling at the end of the night. And I do both of these things. But when you make a mindset change to not worry about things you can't control, realize that you can perceive things as good or bad, and just be thankful for being alive and being able to experience things when some people are dead, that is really where the power is at. I made a video very recently where I talked about 3 Stoic principles that I don't know the title yet, but it's 3 Stoic principles something. And that changed my mindset tremendously to where no matter what happens in life, I feel content, grateful, and thankful to be able to experience it. And there's real power in that. So I recommend you guys check out that video once you guys finish up this one. And that's not just a plug, but really gratefulness, meditation, being able to change your mind and how you think. What else could make you happier, you know? If you can just choose to be happier like a light switch, you would choose to do that. And that's what these 2 things are able to do. The other thing was, and still is, I make a really big effort to maintain healthy, positive relationships. Throughout the pandemic, I realized this was part of the time when I was quitting social media, that I had so many like friends, but nobody I could really call and talk to, nobody that would really like check up on me that often. And they made me really realize like how alone I was. So once, you know, restrictions started lifting in San Francisco, and it was really when I came out of here, Texas, I made an effort to talk to people, to create friendships, to follow up with people I'd met in the past and do that sort of thing. There's a quote that came from Seneca's Letters from a Stoic, where he said that the best way to experience love is to be loved. So I really made a big effort, and it was kind of cringy at first, just trying to make friends and interact with people, and I wasn't very good at it, and it's still probably like one of my weakest social skills. But when I make that effort, it feels so rewarding now to have people that are not just your family care about you and check up on you and want you to be successful and have things in common with and spend time with them. I'd get very big in this kind of Sigma male grind set when the pandemic hit, where, okay, I can become successful on my own and I don't need other people. And although that is fairly true, you won't really reap the rewards of being successful. There's no one around there to share it with. Creating positive, healthy relationships, close-knit friendships, intimate relationships, and relationships very closely with your family members, extended family, that is what life is all about. And that's where you'll find a lot of joy in life. I'm actually watching a course. I was gonna talk about this in my next step. It's a course I'm doing called The Science of Well-Being. And it mentioned that people who are incredibly happy all have things in common, where they have a close, intimate partner and healthy, like they're very, very social people with a lot of healthy relationships. So it's easy to say now, but take the time, and it is very effortful to create healthy, positive relationships and maintain them over time, because that's where a lot of joy in life comes from. And the last thing, which I kind of hinted on earlier, was I actually spent time learning how to be happy. I'd watch podcasts on it, YouTube videos, I'd read articles on it. And also, as I mentioned, the Science of Well-Being course, which I'd highly recommend, and I'm partway through right now, to actually learn how to become happier. And what's funny is these things also change your perspective on what it really means to be happy and what happiness is and things of that nature. It is definitely something you want to learn, because as I mentioned before, happiness is a skill that you can develop with time, knowledge, and experience. So take the time to actually understand, like, what does happiness mean? What do you need out of life to be happy and things like that? Because if you don't fully understand the problem, then how can you start to solve it in the first place? Those are all the things I've done in the past 2 years that have made me tremendously happier. I don't like that word. I just feel this cool, calm bliss going through life, and I feel that way even when I'm encountering big obstacles. And similarly, I have these euphoric sprouts of pleasure throughout the day where I just feel so utterly happy. I have this like big ear-to-ear smile, and I'm just so thankful for life. And it feels so good to be able to have this when I know I didn't have it in the past. I think nowadays everyone wants to be happy. We see happy people on social media and in Hollywood movies, but it really is a skill you have to work for. But the good news with skills is that once you acquire them, they're very easy to maintain. And I want to end this video with a quote from Aristotle, which goes along the lines of, the reason why some people are unhappy is because they confuse pleasure with true happiness. This brings up the point again that you need to understand what happiness is when we're looking into it and learning, but also realize that happiness is not easy. I know everyone wants it the same way they want love, and it'll just happen spontaneously, but it's at least a skill you have to put the work into words. And it is not easy. It does take a lot of time and hard work and effort to build up that skill. If you guys are watching my channel and you made it to the end of this video, that shows that you guys want to be happy. And that's ultimately a good thing. Put the work in, become happy, and you'll be amazed just how much you've missed in life when you were unhappy. So that was a bit of a ramble towards the end and of the mid part of this video, but hope you guys did enjoy it. Thank you guys for watching till the end of this video. And I wish you guys all the best in life, and I really want you guys to become happy. That really make me happy that if you guys become happy. It's for the reason why I started this whole channel of mine. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.